Hi guys, welcome to session 11, and it's really focusing on painting a picture with words. And you're going to feel like this does sound very similar to lessons you had in the beginning of the school year when we were talking about personal narratives. And we've always talked about show, not tell. And this is a perfect lesson to really, develop that figurative language and that description that readers really need to read in order to paint a picture in their mind. So let's get started. You already know a ton about how to make your language paint beautiful pictures. And I know this because I taught you. And you could do the same thing in fairy tale writing. Writers revise their fairy tales by using what they know about language to paint pictures in the minds of their readers. Very, very simple. So this chart is examples of different ways that you can revise your fairy tale and add more description to really paint a beautiful picture. And we're going to focus on a couple. So first, we're going to look at comparisons. When you guys were doing poetry in second grade, you definitely worked on comparing something to something that people can actually visualize and see. For example, the sky is blue as the ocean. And there's comparisons in the fairy tales that we've been reading together as well. Cinderella was sweet and gentle, and as good as gold. At once she arose and fled, nimble as a deer. The glass slipper went on at once, as easily as if it had been made of wax. So really just comparing, the glass slipper going on as easily as if it was made from wax, or the way that she walked and got up was like how she's a deer, or she was as sweet and gentle, like as good as gold, like just so great. And adding comparisons is one way writers revise fairy tales to make sure they paint pictures in the minds of their readers. So I could take something ordinary like Little Red Riding Hood wore a cape as red as, and then I'm thinking like, well, what can we relate to that's really red? And I said, a reindeer's nose during Christmas. Another way, looking back at our chart, is to just really ingrain some describing words. And fairy tales do that a lot, actually. And the way they do it is in the names of their characters. So we don't just call her Riding Hood. We actually call her Little Red Riding Hood. We have this description that she's tiny. We have a description of color. And now that description kind of carries through the entire story. We also don't just call the wolf in the Three Little Pigs the wolf. We call him the big bad wolf. Big descriptive words that really paint a picture in our mind about the character. So when you're revising your writing, you might want to find names for your characters that really describe them. And you have this entire chart here, different ways to adapt, and these are all the lessons that you've really gotten with Miss Hanai. And the last one is paint pictures with language. So as you can see, you're really near the end of your fairy tale. You've been, drafting and revising, and there's been so many opportunities to revise. And this is another big thing to work on to really just get that writing right there, so close. So you might want to make a quick writing plan right now. Like, what exactly do you want to work on in your writing? How do you want to add descriptive words? How do you want to make comparisons? And then thinking about the tips that I've just provided for you to make your writing better. And that's what you're going to focus on today. So make sure that you take some time today, read through your writing, make those revisions, and then mark as done that you've completed today's task. Can't wait to see your final product, which is going to be due on Wednesday. Great job, guys.